Coffee. Dude, keep doing this coffee. But it's time to record.
All right, welcome back to the Late Podcast. Hunter, Jared, and our guest Cullen. Tell us about yourself, Cullen.
Yeah, I'm a musician and I like music and I like football and
Sports.
stuff like that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Cullen was actually in a band that toured around Europe quite a bit called Archie and The Bunkers. Why don't you tell us about that?
I mean, there's a lot to dig into with that. I mean, it was always a lot of fun. We
got like an hour.
we branded our sound hi-fi organ punk, so, you know, with some high intense stuff, and we just had good times.
Nice.
COVID grounded it.
Oh, I bet. So, what made you guys decide to go over to Europe?
Well, when we were sending out our demo to record labels, we ended up sending it to one in London, and they actually picked us up.
Oh, wow.
So, I mean, it was surprising to us. I mean, we recorded some demos in our basement on GarageBand and sent them, and they were like, yeah, we usually throw it all in the trash, but we actually liked yours, so we'll sign you. And I was like, awesome. They're like, so now just go record an album in Detroit. And then I was like, okay.
In Detroit?
Yeah, it's, are you familiar with the White Stripes?
Yeah.
Like Seven Nation Army, something
I'm
like that.
not
We went to the studio that they worked at, and we did one there. And we ended up actually later in our crew recording at Jack White's place
Wow.
down in Nashville, and that has a lot of stories tied to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so just kind of off a fluke, sending something to London. They said yeah, and then we ended up having to go over there, of course.
How long
Tour.
were you in London?
Well, when we toured over there, it wasn't. For some reason, we actually didn't go to the UK that often. We ended up getting bigger in mainland Europe.
Yeah.
But it was like, I think our tours went like 3 weeks, 5 weeks, 4 weeks, and then we ended up getting flown in for a festival for just like a weekend in Spain once.
Oh,
Wow.
that's pretty sick.
Yeah, and it was in the middle of college semester, and I was just like, you know what? I'll be back in a couple days. They're paying me to come out there and do this, and I'm not gonna say no in the middle of November, so.
Right, they paid for your flights and everything.
Flights,
right?
and then they paid us as well, and then our hotel and food and everything was covered.
Awesome.
So it was just a weekend in Spain, basically. So.
When you guys were like touring for like the 3-5 weeks that you were saying, did you guys get to like go on like, did you guys have like a tour bus and you went around, or did you?
Yeah, we had a van.
Okay, I mean it's pretty close. But I was wondering like if you drove around and you flew around. So.
It just depended. Our first tour, we ended up flying a whole lot because it was. All of our tours were really, our booking agent ended up like being obsessed with just getting us money and not following a reasonable route. So we'd end up going like, we'd start in like Paris, and then we'd go for a while and do France, and then we'd fly to the UK, and then from the UK we'd fly to Spain, and then from Spain we'd do a couple more, and then we had another show in London, so we had to fly back to the UK. So it just depended. That was the most flight heavy. That one was brutal. The flight really takes a lot out of you.
Yeah, I bet.
The drives, I don't know, I wasn't driving, so I had a driver. We did have a couple, like, 13, 14 hours through the Alps in stormy weather. We had one night where we had to go from Germany to Italy in one day. So, we had some long drives.
Now, did you play more in like stadiums or like clubs?
No, it was more like clubs and then some festivals that were pretty big.
Man just said stadiums. I'm thinking like theaters.
Yeah, stadiums, yes. I wouldn't be here if I was... I would not be working at Banana Republic if I had played at stadiums.
I don't think he'd be on our podcast.
I did play some big festivals. I did do the biggest one in France. I think there was like 120,000 people there. So
wow.
I did some big festivals, but it was never for us. But they always paid me well, and they're like, you know, you're gonna go on here like early time, and you know, you're playing the small stage at 8,000 people. No one's really gonna like you, probably.
8,000?
They're like, no one's really gonna like you, but you know, you get free massages and tattoos, literally anything you want.
Nice.
So
you
like,
guys probably like just were the opening act, and then.
Yeah, I mean, we were pretty early on both times. The person that ran all the festivals in France ended up hearing about us at like a small one we did our first tour, and he's like, you know what, I'm gonna hook you up with a booking agent, and you're gonna come and do my festivals, and he's like, and that'll be enough for you to come over here. Just like that'll pay for everything off the bat and more. I was like, sounds great to me.
Right. Done.
Yeah, done deal.
So how many people are in the band?
Just two. It's me and my older brother.
Oh, your older brother. Wow.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
Wow, cool sometimes. But, you know, 14 hours in a van, two of you, and then deciding on a set list is like pulling teeth at the venue.
Yeah.
And you can't complain about your bandmate to a sibling because they.
Yeah.
Can't
you
complain
can't fire
to your
each other
parents.
either.
Right.
this guy that I
If you
play
don't
with.
play this song, I'm telling Mom, I didn't want to play that song.
It was like that sometimes, seriously, early on. That's what it felt like. But we didn't break up, so that's what matters.
Yeah.
I mean, we broke up every night, so it never lasted.
So how did you guys get the name Archie and the Bunkers?
Okay, so it's from a crappy... We have antenna TV at our house, so, it's just the garbage of the garbage.
Oh, yeah.
And so we get an old show from, the 70s called All in the Family.
Yeah,
the main character
is
Archie Bunker. It's kind of like a racist little name.
Yeah.
But so, originally, there's a show that's, the same universe as that, whatever that universe is, and it's called Maude, and it's old lady. She ended up being in, Golden Girls or something like that. And I was like, dude, we should name our band Maude and then the Finleys, and I'll wear a drag wig and be Maude. Martin's like, what about Archie and the Bunkers? Martin's my brother. And I was like, fine, why not? I don't care.
Right,
sure.
Don't have to
And we both hated the name. We always hated the name. It's like, man, this name sucks. We ended up going on hiatus before COVID a little bit because we hated the name so much that we're like, we should do a rebrand, but it's gonna suck to do a rebrand.
Right.
Yeah,
It's
everyone knew you as that.
Go back over to Europe. Archie and the Bunkers.
Now,
Get
no.
on the mic. Actually, we're Maude now. Everyone in the crowd, Maude, what the fuck?
Yeah, and when our last tour over there, because all the stuff early on we hated it, but it'd be teenage rock or whatever. It was and the stuff at the end still had it. He's 21 and I'm 18. And it's we're not really teenage rock band anymore, but whatever. It was funny.
So, is there anywhere that they can look your music up and listen to it? Or?
Anywhere.
Anywhere, really?
I mean, we got some music videos on YouTube, and then I'm sure we have a Spotify and all that kind of stuff. I never took care of that stuff.
I didn't know if you guys were on Spotify or not. So
We're probably on there.
there.
I mean, most of our stuff was record sales, because that was the people we appealed to most, vinyl records and stuff like that.
Oh,
but
okay.
I'm sure we have Spotify and stuff like that.
Yeah,
I wouldn't know. I don't look myself up.
if Matt was here, he's our fact checker who does a decent job at times.
Hold on.
So I can make things up. Yes, I'm triple platinum, actually.
We'd have him look you up.
My last record featured Kanye.
Do you want any turtles?
Yeah. Do you like turtles? I have 3 turtles I need to get rid of.
I don't need turtles.
Would your older brother like turtles?
He probably would take them and then be like, why do I have these turtles?
I mean, he'll give you the tank, and he'll give you
Everything
to
for
take care
free,
of it.
so you don't feel ripped off.
How did you end up with the turtles?
So my
Long story.
when my sister was still living here, my nephew was here, his dad was here. He had gotten the turtles for my nephew. Well, then everyone moved out. Everyone went their separate ways. No one wants the turtles, so now I'm stuck with them. And my dad's like, yeah, you should probably get rid of those soon. And I'm like, yeah, because I don't even clean their tank. They've got this high-tech filtration system. I give them food every morning. They get rowdy. You walk by in the morning and they're like, hey, water's splashing out. It's like, settle down.
It's every other day you're supposed to feed them, Hunter.
I thought it was every day. I give them a little food every day.
No wonder they're so fat. No, the one time he goes, oh yeah, I feed them once a week. Like, Hunter, what are you doing? You're trying to kill these turtles.
Then he just decided to compensate, make up for the weeks that he didn't. It's like, now I'm feeding them twice a day. 3 times a day.
I'm like, bro, read the bottle. It says once a day or every other day.
Yeah, I don't know how you get stuck with 3 turtles, though. That sucks. That's bad luck.
He made a short version of the long story.
You guys are on Spotify. You have
Fantastic.
375 monthly listeners.
That's pretty garbage.
I will not. No.
It's more than our podcast.
We have 18 followers. Our best episode has maybe 47 viewers.
Who did you have on that week?
Parker. Because it was just straight Browns talk.
Straight brown stuff.
Yeah.
You can't go wrong with that. Actually, this week you could.
Yeah.
This week it could go very bad.
And the worst was I was at the game and witnessed it all firsthand. But
the only good part that he got to see was the Hail Mary.
Yeah. I was like, it'd be cool to see a Hail Mary. And then 5 minutes later, Baker, I was like, oh, it's happening. It's happening. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Well, I was expecting it to be Kyler Murray, DeAndre Hopkins all over again. Hail Mary, because I thought we were going to keep him close, and no, we just get shit on.
You see Baker's wife went off on, like, everybody for talking crap about Baker.
Oh, Baker played his heart. That man almost tore his arm.
Yeah.
Broke his arm.
Again.
Almost. Same arm.
When I seen him go into the blue tent, I was like, oh, fuck.
You
No.
can't rule it out, though.
Yeah.
That's it.
I don't know how people could hate on him.
Right.
I mean, that
His
man
wife
played his
was
heart
like-
out.
His wife was like, he puts his all into this team. Everyone hates this team, but he loves this team. You guys don't know what you have. He's such a great player, and like went on praising him more. It's like, she's right. So many people shit on Baker because of all these crappy games. Half the time, it's not even his fault.
Majority of the time, it's not his fault.
Yeah.
And you gotta think, too, like, for the past 50 years, the Browns were complete garbage. I mean,
Right, exactly.
Mhm.
Since
even
they came
like
back,
since he started, and it's been like 3 coaches. It's like
I mean,
it wasn't
you got-
exactly like, oh yeah, this guy's like
You gotta
this
think
team's
about
perfect now.
is our team left in like the late '90s, went on, won a fucking Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Our team went to Baltimore, rebranded as the Ravens, won a Super Bowl. All of our players and everything, and then we had to restart all over again. So, like, how are you supposed to be a good team after that?
Right.
All the 2000s, you have to rebuild a whole new team. Like,
Yeah.
And then we had the Dark Ages with Brandon Weeden.
What wasn't the dark?
I'm
Ages?
surprised they didn't really say much about Colt McCoy. Because that was the first time he played on. That was
They
the first
did.
time he played on our field.
They did last
so
year
long.
with the Giants, though. Like, I don't think that was on our field, but the Giants game, they were talking like, oh, It's probably so old. They've probably done it with like every team he's been on since the
Right.
Browns and
Right. But that was the first time I think he played on our team since he left the Browns. Like, played on our field since he left the Browns. So I just was surprised I didn't say anything about
God,
it.
the whole time I was watching that game with Colt McCoy, and
You
It
were
was
just
like
watching
it was
it?
like the last 2 minutes. I don't know what you're talking about.
well, every time he'd go to call hike, since there was nobody in the stadium, you'd hear him just Omaha, and then just hike, get sacked.
Did you hear who was it? Our backup that went in for Baker. He did the turbo.
Yeah.
I was like, no way. I was like, that's Baker's thing, and he just went turbo.
Or my favorite thing that it's Baker, 180 hike.
I
Love that
when,
little pause.
I love when he does the turbo because you can. I don't know. I love when Baker like does his cadence. And
Yeah, he's
shit.
got a good cadence.
You see that new what is it, State Farm commercial that they do with all the NFL players?
Oh, they do it with Rodgers and Mahomes.
I was about to say, what
Alright, it might be that car. What car? I think it's Nissan they do it with, where it's like
What-
the house. In
You're
like,
talking about all of the Heisman winners.
yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, what are you talking about?
It's been a long.
Remember, like
I
an
enjoy-
NFL 100 commercial?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
with all the players.
But they do it with like Baker, Devontae Smith, and like
Yeah. You see.
Kyler Murray and like a bunch of other ones that won the Heisman.
You see the one where it's like Baker's singing his Oklahoma song in his sleep, and he's like, "We need to switch being roommates with him." Well, what does that mean? Guy walks in, he's singing in his sleep. He's like, "Ah, great."
Mm-hmm. What was it? I don't remember. I was gonna say something that Baker was in, but I don't remember anymore.
All those
He's in a lot
Hulu
of
commercials.
He was in a lot of commercials. That's why I was trying to think of.
Hulu has live sports.
I was gonna say the Hulu one when you were trying to say the Nissan one, but there was just a recent one where it was a lady like changing channels, like Hulu has
Yeah.
live
Where he
sports?
gets smacked.
Yeah.
He's like plowed into.
Yeah.
Hi.
He's hilarious though.
Mm-hmm.
I'm surprised though, back to his cadence, that he doesn't get so many people off like he doesn't get so many flags for the other team going offsides.
Right.
Yeah.
He's got such a unique cadence that like you don't hear a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's
It's
got to
kind
be
of
like top 3 in there with like Rodgers.
I was gonna say he's got like a cadence like kind of like Peyton Manning on that, like getting close to that level. Like it's so like unique that no one ever does it. When I heard someone else do his cadence, I was like, what? Because I was like, there's no way. I I'm mad. I'm mad with the whole AFC North right now.
Yeah.
I get you. Now, out of the teams, the teams, which one do you hate the least? Like,
Which
for
one do
just
I
the
hate
rivalry
least?
out of all time, I'd say the Bengals. I hate them the least.
I'd say the Bills.
I'm talking about
The
the
AFC North.
Oh,
The AFC North is the Browns, the Bengals, the Ravens, and the Steelers.
Yeah, Bengals. Because
So-
fuck the Steelers. Fuck the Ravens.
Yeah, I'm starting to not like the Ravens very much.
So, it used to be where I would hate the Ravens the least. Only because I knew, like, that used to be our team and, like, stuff. But now, like, Lamar Jackson, I just hate him. I just hate Lamar Jackson. So it makes me hate the Ravens more than I hate the Bengals. But it was because I used to hate Andy Dalton.
Right.
Yeah.
Andy Dalton was a good player in general, but I just hated him because he was a redhead. So I hated the Bengals.
I was
Watching the comments, oh, you hate redheads now.
Yeah, but Chad
My
Johnson's
uncle's a redhead,
awesome.
I can say
Coach
that,
of
right?
Cinco.
Who?
I said Chad Johnson, though, from the Bengals. Like, he's so funny.
Oh,
like
I
him.
know. And then now they've got Joe Burrow. I don't like Joe Burrow, but if I want anyone to succeed except Baker in the AFC North, it'll be Joe
Yeah,
Burrow.
I don't
Yeah.
dislike him more than Big Ben or
Lamar Jackson.
Go.
So, Big Ben's going out, but
why
they
is he
just,
not gone? That's the
Right.
question.
they were. I was just
Especially
watching.
the playoffs.
He's not even the avocado ice cream like Tom. he doesn't need to be here anymore. The Philly cheesesteak doesn't get you 20 years.
Right. I was just watching something the other day about Big Ben and how it was ultimately the GM's decision the owner's decision to give him another year extension to his contract, which would be this year. And he said, I believe he's worth 30 mil. So he gave Big Ben 30 mil.
It's like the Eli Manning syndrome.
Right, and
They
he
won
said,
2 Super Bowls 500 years ago. Let's keep paying them
Right,
because they're a
well,
legacy.
that's what Big Ben won, like a Super Bowl or two in his one,
two,
I think.
One like rookie year or second
One
year?
like his second or third year, and then he won another one later.
Yeah, against was it Arizona?
I think so, because his first one was with Troy Polamalu.
Yeah.
He only won one, which was with Troy Polamalu and a couple other guys. But because he never won one when Antonio Brown was on his team, and that's when everyone thought they were going to, but they made it to like the AFC
I thought he won
conference.
too, but fact checker isn't here, so.
It's true, Hunter. Get to that. But I just I just saw like a video or something about how he was getting paid 30 mil because of the owner, and he never said that he had to play.
Mm-hmm.
He just paid him 30 mil. So ultimately, it's been Mike Tomlin's decision to put him on the field week after
Who are
week.
you gonna put on the field?
Mason
Haskins?
fucking get his head
I mean,
bashed.
you might as well just leave Big Ben out there.
Right,
and
I
be
was
like,
gonna say,
the last hurrah.
If you're gonna leave anyone out there, you might as well leave Big Ben out there, and then this upcoming draft pick up a new
I
quarterback.
mean, you weren't going to win the division no matter who's going to be the quarterback this year. So you
No.
might as well just leave Ben out there. And, I probably won't even make the playoffs.
And now Juju's out too, so they're screwed. I mean, I don't like Juju.
He's been in there twice.
He's won the Super Bowl twice. Okay.
No, he's been there 3 times then because he lost to Green Bay.
Yeah.
So I mean,
remember
that's impressive. That's an impressive resume. But like,
Oh,
dude,
he's
you're
definitely
not-
a Hall of Famer.
Yeah, it's just like, but you're not.
Only
you're not
2?
you anymore.
You're not Tom Brady.
Right.
Let's be honest.
Settle down there, Cowboy.
I mean, you're not even Eli Manning because at least Eli Manning can be like, I beat
Or
Tom
he's not even.
twice.
He's not even Aaron Rodgers.
No.
So,
No.
He's
I mean,
no
he's
Kurt
he's
Warner
past his
either.
prime.
He's beyond his. He's either
Years
overthrowing or underthrowing, and he's lost that accuracy that he used to have.
And why do I feel like he's probably? You can fact check this. I bet he's making more this year than Tom is.
I think. Well, because he
We're
didn't
definitely
have
fact
30
checking
mil
this one.
confirmed. I think he was making like less than 20. I think he was making 18 mil this year, and Tom was making like 25.
Didn't Tom restructure? I don't know what he restructured to.
Supposedly there's rumors of him wanting a trade.
Tom?
Yeah, supposedly. I don't know where he's gonna go, but they're saying like, throughout people are trying to put things together that happened on between his
Whatever
wife's
you
Twitter
do,
and his Twitter.
Don't come to the Steelers. That's
Right.
all I can ask.
So they're trying to put things between his Twitter and his wife's Twitter, and then someone came up with a teams that would be willing to sign him or would be a good team for him to go to. The first one they name is the Cleveland Browns. I was like, why? I don't want him. Like, I love him, but I don't want him.
Yeah.
He's going to be a one year, and then we're going to be like, see you later, Tom, and come on, Baker, come back out of the field.
Sorry,
but, if it did happen,
no
at
hard
least
feelings.
it would suck. But I mean, having Baker sit behind Brady for a year would never hurt.
It would never, even if it
hurt.
was just the rest of the season, it would never hurt for him to learn from Brady. Except that Brady is not a maneuverable quarterback.
Yeah, but I mean, just like all the mechanics and stuff of the game. Like, I mean, I'm sure he can teach defensive players things just because he's been doing it for 5,000 years.
He was on I don't want to say a podcast, but he was on something earlier, like a couple weeks ago, and it was him and Rob Gronkowski on this show or podcast, whatever it was, and he was saying like football has changed in a way that offense is not playing right anymore.
Yeah.
In the way that the quarterback has to work, is supposed to put the ball in the right spot.
Yeah.
So for the offensive players not to get injured.
Yeah.
And quarterbacks are not doing that anymore, and they're just throwing the ball where the wide receiver is open, and they're not putting in the right spot or the right side of the wide receiver or whoever's out there.
You also can't cream people back then like you can now. Like, I mean, you can't cream people now like you could back then.
Right.
Right.
I mean, I hate when people say, like, oh, Brady played in a soft league. Like, he was playing with Ray Lewis and people like that.
Ray Lewis, Troy Polamalu, Ed Reed.
It's like, he would get his receivers killed if he was like, yeah, I'm just going to throw it over the middle and this guy, my receiver, like Troy Brown can collide head-to-head with
I mean,
Ray Lewis.
I mean, yes, he had Randy Moss for like a season or two. But you still can't just throw it up to him and just be like, he'll catch it. Don't worry about who's around him. Because when he's getting covered by Ed Reed or Troy Polamalu, what are you supposed to do?
Yeah, I mean...
They are two, like, Troy Polamalu is one of those guys that just was sent out there and it was like, play where you want to play. He was never, like, designed. There was never a play designed for him. He was sent on the field and they said, do what you want to do.
Are you familiar with Pat McAfee?
Oh, very much so. With the
CGAP video, that one is so good. It's like...
So he just had Mike Tomlin on his podcast like 2 days ago or 3 days ago, and he said, why did you put Troy Polamalu in the C-gap? Or he said, why did Troy Polamalu go to the C-gap when... And he knew... Mike Tomlin knew the exact play, and he goes, I just sent him out there and tell him, you can do what you want. I'm not going to tell you where to go. Yeah. So he just sees shit that no one else sees, and he just does it.
Did you see that video of him that was like around Instagram at the Seahawks game?
Who?
Troy Polamalu.
Okay, no.
So he's like, they had like the Hall of Fame ceremony there or whatever, and he's walking off, and like someone's waving to him, and he's got like his towel or whatever,
Yeah, the Steelers terrible towel.
It's a Seahawks fan, and he points to him and he goes like this. And they trade, the Seahawks person takes off the jersey. I think they're wearing like a Russell Wilson jersey. He's like, you're trading your jersey for my terrible towel.
Wow.
He's like, it wasn't even signed or anything. It's like, I would do that. Like, all the comments were like, why would you do that? That's like a free towel. Or it's like, dude, Troy Polamalu just gave you a towel. I would give him whatever jersey I was wearing.
I mean, I would be like filming it when I get the exchange. So
well, it was already filmed though. Like,
oh yeah, true, but.
All right, so all I'm finding is Roethlisberger is making $14 million, and
okay, I was close with 18.
Brady is making, it was like 41.25
I was way off.
million.
Yeah, I thought he wasn't making that much this year.
Well, that's what I thought too, because I thought he signed like a really low contract so he can get all of these weapons that they acquired.
Yeah, I thought so.
But next year, it showed his contract value already, and it's only like $8.5 million.
Maybe he did like a front load kind of deal.
He's playing next year?
Yeah. I'm actually excited because they're playing the Browns in Cleveland.
When, next year?
Yeah.
I didn't know the schedule was already out.
It's not like the teams are out.
Mm-hmm.
Just not the
the dates.
But it says it's a Cleveland home game against the Buccaneers.
I'd
love to see Brady in a wheelchair one last time.
I'm going to have to buy those tickets.
Watch, Brady will leave that.
I thought this was my last year to buy a Brady jersey. All right, I got one more.
You always got one more. That's just something that you buy when he retires. I don't know if I want to have one. If he goes to Burns, Cleveland, or something in a Super Bowl, and I'm gonna be like, when he retires, Yeah, be like, yeah, he's cool.
Well, when we go to the Super Bowl this year against Brady and we lose to him, then we'll buy a jersey.
Right.
And the man becomes the eight Super Bowl rings. No one has won 7, let alone
no franchise.
No franchise has won 7, let alone.
How many did Peyton have?
2.
Yeah, he had 1 with the Colts and 1 with
Damn,
And then he lost 2.
Yeah.
Lost against the Saints, and then he lost against the Legion of Boom, Seattle, with the blowout one.
Oh yeah, Seattle.
That was bad.
No, yeah, when they lost what was it? The Super Bowl 48, and then Brady won 49 against them, and then 50 he won against the Panthers.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that team, they were an amazing team to watch, but you never really watched football back then.
Yeah, no. Because back then, I was too busy playing it, and then my dad would be like, "You need to watch this so you know what you're doing."
Bro, that wasn't that long ago. You weren't playing flag football that time. I'm just letting you know.
When was this?
Not that long ago.
Like 2014, 2013.
I was playing basketball, so I was more concerned with the Cavs and all that.
I don't even think we didn't even have LeBron at that time.
Yeah, we did. He came back in 13.
I thought he was with the Heat.
He came back in 15, 14.
Yeah, I thought in 13 he won with the Heat. Didn't
Yeah,
he
he definitely
went
did.
to the finals. I thought he won.
I wish I had my phone.
He's just gonna be
I need to, like,
fact-checking the whole entire thing.
This is what happened the other week, and he had
14. He came back in 14.
Okay, so yeah.
See? Okay, when
I remember in
when
13.
when was Super Bowl 48? I mean, what?
I feel like my whole entire
7
life.
years ago?
I feel like my whole entire life, all I have is like memories of Brady in the Super Bowl, and that makes sense.
So do I. Okay, it's the same year.
It's too concerned with basketball.
You're telling me you didn't watch Super Bowl 50?
I mean, 50, I think I did.
That was.
I mean, you were at least watching Super Bowls early on in my life. I wasn't watching seasons. I didn't know crap, but I was watching.
Oh, I don't know. I was watching every Super Bowl.
I was watching for commercials early on when I started watching.
The Dorito ones.
Right.
No, Super Bowl 50 was Peyton Manning's going out year.
Oh yeah, I remember.
He was so bad that year too. When I look back at the stats, I don't remember him being that bad. I wasn't watching a lot of.
That was the year still that he broke the 500.
I thought it was the year
500
before.
touchdown. Because he doesn't have that many over. He's only like 12 or 13. Why don't you check that?
Oh, you mean like the all-time?
Yeah, the all-time.
Yeah, that's the year. I thought you meant like the single season. I was like, no, he was garbage that year.
No,
the all-time, yeah.
No, and 14 is when he threw 55 touchdowns in a season. So
Still blows my mind that like Brady's on track to break his single season passing yards this year.
He's on track for it.
He's on track for like around 6,000 yards, and that's like without the extra game, he's still likely to pass Manning.
Right. How many touchdown passes has Manning thrown in his career?
Probably like 620 or something.
It's like 5 something. No one's passed 600 yet.
Oh,
Not even Brady. So.
No, he's
He's
two
close.
Away. He's 2 away.
Yeah.
So this week, what are they playing this week? The Bears.
Oh.
He's getting him this week.
I checked my fantasies predicted for 27 points this week. I was like, no way. Last week you were predicted for 19 or 21.
And Brady's my quarterback on fantasy.
539.
Okay, so yeah, all right. Maybe he broke it the season before, or he broke it at the very beginning of the season.
He definitely broke it at some point.
But what's crazy to see is Brady is not like he still has another year after this, and he's blowing records out of the water.
Brady has 596.
Yeah.
And Drew Brees surpasses Manning with 571.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But
he's still elite.
Brady?
Yeah.
What's crazy and mind blowing is he's thrown more 5 touchdown games over the age of 40 than he has before.
Yeah, I love the stat. There was like a Buccaneers stat, like games over 40 points or whatever, and he's had like 5 since he's been there, and before, so when they got founded in like 60 or late 60s or whatever, to when he joined, they only had like 5.
Yeah.
So in a season, in like the 6 games,
Yeah, and I guess they were just like they had an injury on defense, and they just were like, all right, we're picking up Richard Sherman.
I can't believe he played like the Patriots
He played
game.
an inning, and then got injured.
I remember I was doing the trash at work, and I was like checking my phone. I was like, oh, they signed Richard Sherman. I was like, oh, well, he's not going to be eligible for like another week or two, from what it seems like. And it was like the next 3 days later, he's playing. It's like, dude. This man went from sitting on his couch for like a whole year to being like, okay, you're playing against the Patriots now, just go.
What was so bad was they were playing against the Patriots, and he got injured in the first quarter. He played like 2 minutes and got injured. I was like, well, maybe you should have waited.
Should have joined training camp a little sooner.
Yeah, not 6 weeks in.
Yeah. But yeah, I think Brady's leading. He's like leading in touchdown passes this year, yards.
Yeah. Well, and the only reason I think he is because Mahomes has just been astronomical.
Should have lost
horrible.
Mm-hmm.
No, we shouldn't have. But they were like finally 3-3. We have the same record as them. The
And
Chiefs,
everyone's
the
like
supposed number one team in the league.
And they're playing the
top
Titans.
quarterback too.
They're playing the Titans this week, and I think that's going to be. I mean, the
Derrick
Chiefs'
Henry
defense
is gonna
sucks.
run all over them.
The Chiefs' defense sucks. They're probably getting like touchdowns on every
If
drive.
Nick Chubb can run all over them, Derrick Henry can.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's Derrick Henry.
What are we predicting for Thursday?
Thursday? I don't know
Who's
who's
playing the
playing.
Broncos.
Oh, we got this in the bag. I'm sorry. I think
I
they're.
mean, as long as we
better
don't make
have this in the
mistakes,
bag.
I mean, because they're
Well,
not horrible, but we
it's
should be
like,
able to beat them.
are we gonna have Nick Chubb back?
Because we don't have Kareem Hunt for a
I
long
think
We
time.
don't have Kareem Hunt.
I think it
A
was
long time.
confirmed.
Oh, it's confirmed that he's back. Well, then we're winning.
Well, if we have Nick Chubb, we're winning.
Yeah.
But they've got like Bridgewater as their quarterback. Come on, no, you gonna tell me he's gonna be better? But then the other thing is, Odell went out at the beginning. I mean,
Yeah,
no,
I don't know
go
what's
out.
up with our team, like as far as what we're rostering for that game.
Well,
but-
it's so difficult because we took so many people and sat them, and we never said injured or anything. We just sat them, and I was like, is it because we're having a short week and
I
we
don't
just
know.
have the feeling that we're going to be able to play the Cardinals without any of you, or what? And that was a bad idea, clearly.
I do a
But-
pick'em league, and I was right on every game this week except for the Browns game. And I was like, it's going to be a close game, but I have to. It'd feel wrong to pick against the Browns against the Cardinals. I was like,
Right,
I was
right,
one
right.
away from perfect.
I lost to Mark by 1.43 points.
Yeah, I lost to Jordan by a good amount, like 10 points. I've been undefeated, and I just finally lost my
I've
first.
been garbage this year in fantasy. Last year was my first year actually did it, and I was really good last year. And this year I had Dalvin Cook, Josh Jacobs, all my people got injured,
So did mine.
and it's just been garbage.
I've been trying to put a team together off of people that I'm not
I had Juju
benching.
Smith-Schuster.
I'm not getting rid of Christian McCaffrey. I'm not getting rid of George
He
Kittle.
goes top every year, and he's always gone. Him and Saquon, it's like, no, I won't touch them. Give me Dalvin Cooks or
Well,
something if I'm not number one and can't pick Henry.
Our league is really small, and
Mhm.
we have 4 people, so it's very easy to put together a very star-studded team. But then when you have 4 stars that just get injured, and you're like,
Fuck.
what am I supposed
I
to
have an
do
18.
when I'm playing Derrick Henry, Patrick Mahomes, and all these other amazing wide receivers and everything? You're like, what are you supposed to do?
Yeah, I like an
Like, I
18-person league that I'm doing. I just joined one of the auto ones. And
Oh,
it was
really?
It was 18 people, so it's my team, once it got injured, I was like, well, we're done for now.
We don't have Chubb or Hunt going in Thursday.
Ooh.
All right, Felton.
Yeah, Felton needs to come to the club.
So we're gonna be relying on Baker's arm a lot.
Yeah.
And is he even starting? Like, is he playing?
Felton or
He-
Baker?
Baker.
I think he wants to.
He's questionable.
Oh, he
right
definitely
now.
wants to.
I mean, I haven't heard him
Has he
ruled
been
out yet.
practicing? Is the question. I love how you're getting your information from.
Why
fantasy
can't we?
football.
Why can't we play the Giants
I
this
can't
week?
find anything else.
Yeah, right.
I
Did
feel
you
confident that Case Keenum and whatever we had could beat the Giants at this point.
Did you see that Daniel Jones, in the first half of this week's game, on fantasy had -4 points,
But I'm not surprised.
and then at the end of the game he had 5 points. I was like, "Yep, that's Daniel
It
Jones."
was a bad game.
That was horrible.
He wasn't horrible so far this year. He hasn't been good, but he should have.
He's
His
been-
team is 99% in.
If we're talking fantasy, he'd be a good backup quarterback.
Yeah.
When your quarterback goes on a bye, he'd be that quarterback that you put in, and then drop him after the bye week, and pick up another player.
Yeah, in the 18-team league I did to get trade capital. The third and fourth round, I got Brady, and then I got Rodgers, and I was like, yes, I will trade Rodgers for everything that you have.
Right.
Last year's MVP and then Super Bowl MVP. It's like, yes, I demand trades.
Since we only have like 4 people, I've got Brady, and then my backup when Brady's on bye week is Dak Prescott.
I've got Kyler Murray and Baker.
How dare you? How dare you have Kyler Murray?
That's
I
what
can't
I'm
even
saying.
look at you in the eye.
He's still lost.
Who did you start? That's the real question. Who
Kyler.
did you start on Sunday?
So
you thought Kyler was going to outperform Baker, I suppose.
he didn't adjust his lineup since the week
Yeah.
prior. The week prior, he had to set up his lineup to try and beat me, and I still beat him.
Yeah. It wasn't until Monday. I had it in the bag, and then he had like one player playing on Monday.
Fucking Mark Adams scores 41 points and blows him out of the water.
But yeah, they're waiting for a second opinion on an MRI for Baker.
Well, then I guess my opinion on that game is undecided right now. I really don't want to fall to 3-4 against the Broncos.
I don't want it to be the Broncos. If it was like a respectable team.
Well,
like,
yeah, because then
Our secondary quarterback, he's pretty good, right? I remember him during the offseason.
we were on 3rd and 4.
Are we
and
talking about Case Keenum?
He threw a ball and it was just outside of the receiver's hands. So if it was Baker back there, we would have made the play. But it was Case Keenum, and we didn't get our.
Case Keenum was he got the Vikings to the playoffs at one point. He's not trash.
No, he's not horrible.
Some backup quarterbacks.
Right.
Yeah, but I think that year he got the Vikings to the playoffs.
Wasn't that
then he got injured and Kirk Cousins came in.
Wasn't that the Joe Buck Diggs sideline? That was him, right?
Yeah.
Or was that the divisional game or something?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I have determined, though, that it doesn't matter who we have on our team. It does not matter who we are playing or who we have on our team. The refs do not give a fuck.
Yeah,
everyone
fuck
just
those refs. Oh my god.
The NFL, the refs, everyone just goes fuck Cleveland and just goes.
No.
And then
I swear, before every game, they're like, all right, how many do you want to call in Cleveland? 5. Fuck, I want to call 5. All right, you can call 6. I don't get 6.
well, it's like
ridiculous.
they go in their huddle and they talk and they go, all right, so who hasn't thrown a flag yet?
Right. Who wants to call it against Cleveland?
Yeah, that's some malarkey.
It's so
Especially
bad.
when we played the fucking Chargers and there were so many
If you
pass
look at
interference, but it should have been on the offense.
That game.
But it was on us, the defense.
if you look at how many yards we given up in like flags, that like literally have not been our fault at all. People will get literally 100 yards a
The
game.
refs have just been really bad this year in general. Not no, I feel like they're definitely picking on Cleveland more, but the calls I watch in any game I'm watching.
It's very true.
There's a lot of bad calls this year.
Very true.
I love
The
how
only thing
they're
I liked was I thought we had something good coming because against KC we didn't have any really bad calls.
Yeah.
And I thought, wow, we're finally going to get a good fucking year of refs.
And I love how they're always like, all right, they're sending it to New York for review. New York says one thing, the refs, fuck that. Fell on Cleveland, 15-yard
Yeah,
penalty.
it's no way. I love when they do a 15-minute review to New York and it comes back it's something blatant, and then the announcer's like, well, that's what do they see? And even the in-house analyst is like, yeah, I wouldn't have called it like that. It's it goes to New York, it takes 30 minutes, and they just keep it the same instead of an obvious overrule.
Right.
When they were doing the fucking flag about the pulling of the defensive player's jersey against the Chargers, I was like, okay, this is clearly not on us. And we never challenged it or anything. I was like, why?
Yeah, Stefanski hasn't been challenging like how he has been.
Yeah. I don't know. Offense sells.
Used
I mean,
to.
you look at what an MVP was back in Tom Brady's first 5 years, and it's 25 touchdown passes and 10 picks was an MVP quarterback. Man, he threw for almost 4,000 yards.
Yeah.
So now it's if you're not having a quarterback that throws for 4,500 yards,
If
unless
you
you're
don't
a
have
run first team Tannehill or something that.
If you don't have a 5,000 yard throwing and 50 touchdowns, you're not an MVP.
Yeah, it's
like
it's double what it was. It's
Right.
Refs be like, oh, I forgot that there's defense. Let's just.
Or if you don't run for
touchdown,
3,000 yards as a quarterback, you're not an MVP.
Right.
And that's why Brady started scrambling. Don't you see him in these games lately?
He's like, I gotta get my 10 yards.
Getting that Madden rating up.
Yeah. He's like, I gotta get that speed up. Gotta get that scrambler quarterback in Madden.
Yeah.
Trying to make Mahomes look like a bitch.
You know, they compared Baker to Mahomes this week. They said, like, Baker looks like Mahomes getting out there and making them plays happen. He said Baker looks like last Super Bowl like Mahomes because Mahomes had no offensive line and was throwing on his side.
Yeah, I remember that. My barber was talking about Mahomes, and he was like, he brought up such a good point, and it's like, I've never been able to unvisualize since then. He's like, the way he walks, like, when he's upset is, like, the most bitch walk ever.
And
It's like some mom that just got, like, upset at Walmart, like, the way he, like, walks.
And then he's fucking Kermit the Frog.
Yeah.
So
And he's always throwing bitch fits on the sideline. At least Baker will sit there and talk to someone. He's over there, this is bullshit, damn it.
It's like, let me throw a no-look under my leg, and it gets picked off, and then I'm upset it's my receiver's fault.
Right. He made one play in the Super Bowl though, that he threw the ball
Oh, yeah.
and it hit his player in the chest, and he was literally on his side.
Yeah, it was like
and
parallel.
he was like, "How the hell do you drop that?" Because it hits you in the chest.
Right.
You probably also don't think it's coming, though, when your
When your
quarterback is
quarterback's
parallel to the
parallel to the
ground. You're probably like, oh, this play's over, and then the ball just comes, and you're like, oh, not prepared.
Yeah, right.
Wait, he actually threw that?
Yeah, that was funny.
I think if I was the wide receiver, it would be just as amazed. Like,
Yeah.
the fuck?
There's like, the news was talking about, like, a tweet from Mahomes' mom. She's like, his pick shouldn't be called picks. The receiver clearly dropped that. And it's like, yes, just like if he dumps off a pass to Tyreek and he runs it freaking 100 yards because he can run at 100 mile per hour. It's like, yeah, maybe that should just count as a 3-yard pass. He's just like dunked it.
Let me just throw a 20-yard lob to Tyreek Hill and he can just run around everyone. On my own 10, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
When he does those games and you have Tyreek Hill in your lineup, it's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
But I was playing.
I don't want anyone from the Chiefs on my lineup.
They're so hit or miss. Because it's either Mahomes is going to play amazing now or he's going to play like dog shit. And then he's just going to rely on Travis Kelce.
He throws like 5 TDs. He's throwing like 5 interceptions to go along with it.
Right. So, and it's either he throws good to like Tyreek Hill and like his wide receivers, or he only throws to Travis Kelce. Mm-hmm. So it's like, you can't have his wide receivers, but at the same time, you can't have Travis Kelce. Like, you can have Travis Kelce is an amazing tight end to have. But it's like, you can rely on Travis Kelce, but you can't rely on any of his other receivers.
Yeah. They also totally screwed that team long term. Like, their defense is a mess, and now they're not going to have any money to, like, rebuild their defense with his contract.
They've got one good defensive end. Chris Jones?
Yeah.
They've got one guy.
And then they have Tyrann Matthews, the one good, like, back.
Right. Like, how
Sorensen's just been blowing it lately. I thought he was okay, but...
You know, I thought we were going to have a good defense this year. And we had a great defense for, like, 2 or 3 games.
Yeah.
And then we played the Chargers, and we played the Cardinals.
And then the ball kind of just dropped, and ever since then...
Well, they're like, oh, well, if the refs are just going to call penalties, I'm not going to play.
I'm not even going to try anymore.
I don't know how Ward got injured this time. I really don't know how he got injured this time. Ward cannot do a 16 games without being injured.
Right. I need to look to see if Landry's back.
No, I don't
He was
think
like
so.
on IR, right? So, I mean...
I believe he was. I don't know. Let's see. Fact check it.
I'd be glad if he was back this week. I'd say that would lean me
That
closer
would
to the
lean me towards
Browns.
the Browns, yeah.
You know,
CBS Sports, Jarvis Landry may be back Thursday. Thanks for the definite answer.
That's what they said about Christian McCaffrey, too.
It's not like that's
he was
like
not
2
back.
days. Christian McCaffrey's never going to get healthy
Oh, so
again.
you want to be talking about Thursday, being like, I've got things to do on Thursday, so we can't do a podcast, but you're not going to be able to watch the game then either, Hunter.
I got my phone. From time to time I can take a break from plumbing to check my phone.
Mm-hmm. I'm not texting you updates this time, like you're at work.
Okay.
For my work, I made sure I strictly scheduled. I won't work Sunday past 12:30, and I won't work Monday nights or Thursday nights. I did that like before the season started, so I was only there for like a month when I did that.
Yeah, he wanted me to do it 2 weeks in. It's like, I'm still fresh meat. I don't know if I can.
I mean,
2 weeks in.
What are they gonna do about it?
You started way before the season started, like a month.
When did I start?
Not a month before the season started.
Okay,
like around the time the season started.
We were 3 weeks in, and I said, "Bro, I'm tired of you working on Sundays. You need to like say that."
Yeah. Dude, you don't even need to say it. You can just go into the app, and I showed you how to do it. I showed you just like say no. Just say no. It's okay to say no.
I told him, bro, if they ask questions, just be like you're religious and have to go to church.
They don't even ask.
Yeah, I know they don't ask.
I tell them, I was like, I took it off because I like to watch football and I don't want to be here when football's going on because
that's what I tell the Seven Hills Rec. I go, I cannot be here.
Well, how many days do you even actually work at the rec compared to landscaping?
I work 5 days a week landscaping. What do you want me to do? And then at the rec, I work like 2 to 3 days. I work Monday, Wednesday, Friday.
Well, I'm saying compared to each other.
I literally took Tuesday, Thursdays off for this. So I don't know what you're talking about. I used to work 5 days in both. I took Tuesday, Thursdays off.
Yes, then you'd have Monday.
For you to work till 8 o'clock at night, apparently.
Hey, there's a film director there. I'm going to school for film. I had to talk to him. It'd be like if someone from the Geronimo, that construction company.
Oh yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, construction company, landscaper.
I'm sure they could give you like people they know, contracts, go cut their grass.
They have a 20-man crew that cuts their grass. I think they're fine.
Well, say the owner of that 20-man crew comes up to you and he's like, "Here's $50 million for your company."
So the Geronimo family that owns that 20-man crew.
Yeah.
Why would they want mine?
Wait,
because maybe they notice your work. Maybe they like it.
Did like Christopher Nolan come up to you or something?
Like,
who came up to you?
Why would they come up to me and be like,
a guy named Paul.
For your 100 counts, here's $50 million because we want more work, not because we want you. We want more work. That's what you're saying to me right now. You're not saying, here's $50 million to come cut my yard.
Did this film director give you $50 million?
What the hell
Why
happened to
you eat Cheetos for dinner and instant coffee out of a microwave if that happened?
You talked to him for an hour.
I basically got told I can text him so I can work on projects with him.
That's what an hour conversation took?
Yeah, and find him a suit for a casual event he's going to.
You better pick out a nice one because if he doesn't get compliments, he's not gonna.
He's not answering your phone call.
No, I mean he's probably not gonna answer it anyway.
With the Greater Cleveland Film Commission right now too.
There we go. Where are you going to school for film?
At the moment, try C to get prereqs out of the way. Then I'll be going to CSU for their film program.
I did try C and CSU both. It's good stuff.
How old are you?
20.
I knew it. Because I saw your Facebook and I was like, oh, a weirdo can stalk me on Instagram. I'll stalk him on Facebook. And then I saw you graduated. I was like, how old is he?
I'm an old man though. I just graduated though this year.
Did you do like college and high school?
I mean, I was homeschooled, so I just started college at 15. I was like, screw it. Just let's do it. I forged the high school transcripts and I was like, you know what? We're going to college.
Dang, Rocky Wood kids.
I also started at Tri-C first. I did the 2 years there. For the
I hated swimming against Rocky River.
Rocky River sucks.
I hated swimming against Rocky River.
Why?
Because they're in our conference.
Because they have webbed feet?
Well, yeah. They're a D2 school, technically, and we are a D1 school. So you would think like we'd be a better school, but you guys have so much damn money in Rocky River, apparently. That
buying people like scuba equipment.
That like they just like were amazing swimmers, and we would be undefeated and then face Rocky River and lose. And
it's because of the webbed feet. It's because of the inbreeding that happens down by the lake.
Oh, I believe.
Dude, it is. Like there is legitimate inbreeding happening north of Detroit Road and Rocky River, and then I'm sure only those rich kids are the ones that join swim team and like everyone on that street is related to them, and they have private beaches for the people in that area. It's like, dude, they have webbed feet. They're gonna beat you because they're like half amphibian because
I'm
of all the
pissed off at
inbreeding.
them like when we swam them every year. I'd be so pissed off at them because I would beat my swimmer that I'd have to swim against on the relay. We would win the relay, and we would be winning and winning and winning, like taking first place in a lot of shit because we were just good swimmers. But then you guys had 100 kids behind us that just win every single other place, 2nd through 8th. And we're like, well, there goes all of our points. And then you guys just beat us by like 5 points. We're like, fuck us, huh?
Yeah, dude, you did as good as a human being could do. That's all I'm
like,
saying.
they had so much damn depth. I hated it.
Just be glad that your mother's not also your sister.
Fair enough.
It's like the Twilight Zone.
You won in real life.
They weren't like crazy fast. They were just, they had like 100 kids. And we had like 40, which is a good amount of kids for a swim team. They had like 100.
Dude, like, Rocky River kids don't want to play tackle football, though. Like,
No, they don't.
They're scared of, like, swimming and lacrosse is, like, life.
Yeah.
Maybe there's a couple kids that play hockey, but
Well,
they're
yeah,
When I
probably,
played
like,
them
5,
in
4
football,
years
though,
old.
I'm not gonna lie. You guys had one fucking quarterback that would literally just take the ball, snap it, and run down the sideline. He'd long blonde hair, just take the ball.
Dude, I probably
run
knew
down
who
the
it was. 'Cause I went to Rocky River for a while. So
This was like 7th or 8th grade, like our 7th or 8th grade, and he'd just take the ball, run down the sideline every play, and they would just rely on this quarterback. And I'm like a defensive end. How am I supposed to stop?
It's probably because he couldn't throw it.
He was like 6'6". It just. He definitely looked like a sophomore in high school. Long blonde hair, like 200 pounds,
He might have
6'6".
been, because we never had like anyone like that I recall.
Just
I
run
remember
down the line.
I played for Westlake, and Westlake played North Ridgeville, and this was like even back in like 5th grade.
Yeah.
And we played North Ridgeville, and their people, they had like 300-pound offensive linemen,
Oh,
and their quarterback was like 6'5", 250, jacked, and here I am a safety, and he just comes sprinting out, and it's like, I'm clinging to this man's legs. I'm like
I've done
120 at this point, back in like 4th or 5th grade, like first year tackle, and I'm just like, this man will not go down. He just dragged me all the way across the field.
that's what happened to me with the Rocky River kid. I was like, I've got my form tackle, right, coach? How is he not going down?
You're hanging on to him as you're going by your coach. Why isn't it working?
Not to mention, like, my freaking stuff back when I was doing it. I didn't do it for very long because I did
Derrick
music.
Henry out there.
I did music instead, but
Yeah.
like, our equipment was all garbage. And here's North Ridgeville with like the Riddle helmets and like everyth's custom, and it's like for their 5th graders, and they're just like beasts, all of them.
So
we had
many-
one kid on our team though named Mohammed,
Huh.
and he played linebacker for us. He was an absolute unit. I remember I did running back once, and like he just laid me out. In
Always
practice.
the ones with the weird names.
Yeah.
He was pretty big for a kid our age on our team. Like maybe not compared to North Ridgeville. He always sent someone to a hospital every game though. It's like he's savage.
We had a kid named B squared, B cubed, because his last name was Black, and there was 3 of them that played on that team in the past. So he was B cubed.
What was the second one? B squared.
Yeah.
What was the first one though? Was it just B or like B to the first power?
It was just Blacken or whatever their last name was. So he was B cubed, and he was just an absolute unit of a linebacker, would just destroy everyone.
Oh, when I played basketball for Hillside, our 3rd game, we'd been losing at this point. We were like, oh, Strongsville, those guys are pansies. The guy I had to go against, I was like maybe a couple inches shorter than I am now.
You were just talking about the fucking Brexville team.
Hang on. We'll get to Brexville's team. Strongsville's team, this kid had to be like 6'4", 6'5". I'm out there, and my coach is like, cover him. I'm like, him? Yeah. He's like, make sure you get those rebounds too. It's like, you're joking,
The
right?
only thing you're gonna do is like Peanut Tillman punch the ball out from under him.
I did that twice and it actually worked. And then trying to box him out, he kind of just did that to me.
I don't know how that works.
I cried in the shower that night. Because he was bending over me, and like, I felt something. Got Brexville's
You got
team.
dominated in every meaning of the word.
Was it Brexville or Bedford?
Brexville.
Alright, so when we both played for the Seven Hills Rec. We were on different teams until it came to our tournament team. Well, the Bedford team, those guys...
Brexville.
Yeah, the Brexville team, they're all going to the NBA. Right away, they're going. Trying to...
They're like all mini LeBrons.
No.
Half of them
they were tall as him. They were just wide.
Trying to
So like all Shaquille O'Neals.
Yeah.
But they were white.
Oh, so they're not going to the NBA.
If they're lucky. If mommy and daddy dish out enough money.
They'll be like their team's prospective Luka.
No, they were so big.
Some big guys.
And then, but I mean, they had the downside of they couldn't make it to the other side of the court as fast as being so big that they get tired out really quickly. But then when your coach would be like, I need you to get as many rebounds as you can. You can't let them get any rebounds. Block them out, and they're not allowed to score on you. Mind you, now their point guard's like normal height, like 5'8", 5'10", and just dishing the ball out to these centers, and then the center's just 6'8" over top of you, 7th grade, and just put the ball up there and go and point at you and walk away.
As they run down the court, huffing and puffing.
like, what are you supposed to do when they just go and you're like this and they're still just right over top of you, put the ball up. They couldn't shoot either. They would just push it, grab it, push it,
just
grab
get
it.
them right up in the paint and then just
They probably
just
shoot
drop
like
it in
15 times until they get one in, and like, but they were like barely away from the rim. So
yeah.
And then when we were together, we played that one team, and it was all like LeBrons and Shaqs.
Mm-hmm.
When
In a tournament.
Yeah, our tournament team, we finally played together.
Before my phone died.
I was a pretty aggressive player, to say the least. Like, he even... Didn't you play another year after for the Rec? And you tried doing stuff that I did, and your coach yelled at you? Yeah. I was so aggressive, he took notes and tried to do it and got in trouble for it.
Well, the man fucking elbowed me directly in the whatever.
I was a violent player. So trying to go against LeBrons and Shaqs, it was tough because they take it and then give it right back to you. It's like, I'm not used to that. No. So then you'd have to go full, and then I get fouled out. He almost gets fouled out.
I got fouled out multiple times.
My one buddy who was as close in height as I was.
Skinny. He was like Kevin Durant, though.
Yeah. He'd do it perfectly fine. Even though he'd get thrown around. Yeah, basketball around here was rough.
I wonder what Rivers' basketball team is. This is probably garbage.
Well, they all got webbed feet.
We're going on for a while now. So.
Alright.
Before my phone dies.
Yeah, due to low camera battery, we're going to have to cut tonight a little short.
Sorry.
Even though we have been going for maybe an hour now.
Yeah.
So it's been a pretty good episode. I want to say thank you to Cullen for coming out, being on the podcast. Jared, got anything to add?
No.
Alright. Guess we'll see you guys on Thursday.
Peace out.